And now, you're tuned into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
The Rays are at the trade deadline. The Buccaneers are in training camp. And the Rowdies have a brand new head coach. Musaab is in the house. It's the Sports Lounge. My name is Eureka Wheeler. I've got the original RBLR crew together for the first time on video. And of course, it's not just myself. It's my main man, Chris Glaser. Chris, what's up, dog?
Feeling good, man. Another hot day in the Bay. Ready to have a good time. Feels good to have the three-peat back together, man. Musaab, man, how are you doing, man?
Let's go. What's up, Musaab?
Oh, man, I'm doing real good. Good to be back with the kind of OG crew, the ones where, who started it all. That's really about it, though. Yeah, it feels real nice to finally, kind of set some time and to do this.
So the first question is, I'm sure, is what the hell is the Sports Lounge? And so Chris and I, we've been working on this concept for a while where it's a lot about everything else that we don't talk about on the RBLR Bucks, RBLR Lightning, RBLR Rays, RBLR Rowdies, right? We give you that stuff every single week, almost daily. So it's on Sundays, a little more vibes, a little more about being a fan, a little bit about everything else. So we're going to talk sports cards. We're going to talk betting. We're going to talk just being like lifestyle of a fan. There's a lot of different things that we can encompass. And, it might fit a little bit here, a little bit there. We just wanted to throw all that together on one show, and that's called the Sports Lounge. Chris, though, Chris, what are you hoping we get with this? Is a weird format. We can kind of do whatever we want, but what are you excited to maybe throw out there?
Maybe just a little more freedom, man. We're here to have a good time, see how it is in the life of a sports fan, just in Tampa in general. Have some good conversation here, gets a little bit of wrestling talk in there for the wrestling fans out there. Me and Tariq are big fans. We got a big day on Wednesday heading to AEW Dynamite 200. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, just having a lot of fun, man. Like you said, good vibes on here. We got a lot of people with a lot of sports knowledge on here. So I'm just looking forward to having a really good time, man.
Yep. And so without further ado, our first special guest is a man that obviously I respect very deeply. He was from day one of RBLR. Mr. Tariq was here from day one. We put together our little first ever RBLR show almost 3 years ago. And now he is one of the leaders and one of the captains of the RBLR Bucks show that we put out every single week here at RBLR. This man needs no introduction, but he is, of course, Musaab Tariq. What's good, man?
Oh, man, it is an honor and privilege to be part of this show. And, I still vividly remember exactly where I was when I first had that phone call with you, Eureka. That kind of get to know you talk. I was just walking around my neighborhood, killing some time, actually waiting for that call. So, I can't believe it's been, about 3+ years now, give or take. And it's been a phenomenal kind of journey for sure, to see how far RBLR has come, to see how all of us, how far we've come and what we do. It's amazing. It really is. Yeah.
Well, so one thing that's interesting about you, I think, and that's kind of where I want to, the scope of this interview. I want to kind of know, we get your opinion on the Bucks all the time, and I'll ask you your opinion on the Bucks a little later in the show. But I kind of want to get to a little bit more of the man behind the microphone. So one of the things interesting about you is that you actually you're from Tampa Bay, but when we started talking, I think you were actually in Boston at the time. Or had you moved yet?
I was just about to move to DC for a bit.
DC.
That was, right. Peak COVID, and I was supposed to go there and work in person, but things didn't really work out, obviously, with COVID. And everyone thought, COVID will be done by September-ish or whatever, but clearly not. So, I came on back, but I was there just for a hot second, though. Yeah.
Well, so that's why I think it's interesting is you're in DC and then later Boston, but what is it like to be a fan of the Buccaneers and Tampa Bay sports when you're thousands of miles away? How does that work out?
Ooh, it's interesting. I'll tell you this for sure. I don't think there was a day I actually wore, a shirt like this, repping the Rays. Maybe one time when I first moved there, I think I was just kind of being a little naive, and I was like, "Oh, let me, still show my Tampa Bay pride." But I'll tell you this, when it comes to Boston, I mean, the sports fan base there is intense. I mean, I'm talking. I live like 10 minutes away from Fenway. It's the Pats, and obviously, we just stole their boyfriend Tom Brady from them. Okay, and that was interesting because honestly, the people that I met there, they either kind of hated Brady after that, or they still were like, oh, Tom's always going to be ours. He's always going to be in our hearts, et cetera, et cetera. If he wanted to go down, then so be it, or whatever. But I mean, I didn't really get any hate or anything. People kind of just obviously kind of just threw the you guys are only relevant now because of Tom Brady. There's no other reason to be relevant as a Buccaneers fan or as an organization. So that was interesting for sure. What I will say though is just kind of a little random is I didn't have like cable in my house, and I wasn't in the mood to stream like these games from my house. I just love going to sports bars. I'll tell you this, when it comes to Boston sports bars, when the Pats are playing the same time as any other team, they only show the Pats. So I mean, there was a couple times, because this is what I learned the hard way. I remember I'd be biking to my local sports bar, and I'd be like, all right, I got my Devin White or Rob Gronkowski jersey on. I walk in, and it's like all 8-9 TVs are just all Patriots, and I'm like, oh Lord. Then you ask that feisty, New England bartender, oh, can you put on the Bucks game maybe on that small TV? And then she's chewing her 5 gum like, sorry, sweetie, it's Patriots only today. I'm like,
5 gum.
Yeah. No, that's how it is,
gum.
though. So, I mean, same thing, with the Bruins as well. They're really big on the Bruins. So, I mean, it's not like I was kind of boasting about the Lightning as well either. But when it came to soccer, though, I have to say, though, it got a little interesting. I guess kind of the same vibe, as it is here in Tampa. I'll probably say, with the Rowdies and the New England Revolution over there, it's really just for those fans who really kind of get into it or who really want to. No one just accidentally really kind of gets exposed to it. So that's kind of the vibe over there. But it was fun, though. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I have to say, it was really fun when Tampa Bay teams would go against Boston. I would always make sure to, kind of attend that game, at my local sports bar or something, just to see what the vibes were like. A couple of times the Rays versus the Red Sox. Actually, I think my buddy took me one of those games. Or
at Fenway.
Yeah. And then I still remember, I'll never forget that day when the Pats played the Buccaneers that first season when Tom Brady was with us. I remember I just came back from Orlando to visit my buddies. And as soon as I came back, I went straight to my local sports bar, and I was watching it over there. And the bar staff already knew, what kind of guy I was. I was from Tampa, so they were kind of like looking at me back and forth, like, "Hey, don't get too excited, So yeah, that's really about it, though. It was a really fun time, but I'm back in the Bay, and it's never felt better. And yeah, that's really about it, though.
So maybe from a fan's standpoint like me, I've never been to Boston, right? I only know Tampa sports. Okay, so maybe like when you were up there, did you feel like the fans up there? I hear they're very passionate. And you've probably been to some games down here. So for someone like me who's never been up there, would you say that their passion is different than ours? Would you say it's a different environment up there than down here? Because, down here we do have a lot of transplants. Obviously, it's Florida. We have a lot of Boston, New York, all those down here. So, and I know they like to bring that passion down here. And I know, sometimes at Bucks games, we have a little bit of an older crowd sometimes where they're like, oh, down in front. And I know Buffalo Bills games, I don't think those fans sit down at all the entire game. So do you feel like when you were up there, like the passion was a lot different? Could you feel the energy up there, when you would attend some games, even at a bar maybe?
Oh, yeah. No, the energy is a lot more aggressive over there. I mean, I think passion, down here in Florida, it's still just as high as it is in Boston. People here are super, super enthusiastic about their beloved Tampa Bay teams. But I'll tell you this, the vibe that I got from Boston, especially I would say specifically the Celtics more than any of them, and the Red Sox, but the Celtics and the Bruins, people just get super, super nuts. I'm talking like, you'll see a bunch of children in the stands, but the whole crowd will be saying, like, F you, and then, to the city, like, F you Nashville, or F you Tampa Bay, or, F you Detroit, you know what I'm saying?
I
Or
can see that.
And then I remember, because I'm a huge basketball fan, and we don't have a team down here, but when it comes to the Celtics, oh man, it's like 1 second, Jason Tatum hits a buzzer beater, and everyone's in love with him. People want to name their child Jason after him. And then 2 games later, Jason Tatum misses a couple, really crucial points, and now everyone wants to go to his house and break into it and rob him, and no one wants to name their child Jason anymore. It's a huge love-hate relationship. There were days, we would win, the Celtics would win a game, we'd be really hype, and then you'd see the same people after a couple of days, for another Celtics game, and they would just be, their mood would just hit a 180. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a complete 180. They'll be like, oh my God, we're a cancerous organization. Get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy. We got to start all over. Some people just leave the bar early, like, you know what, I'm done drinking for today. I got to go home now. And my kids are going to yell at me. My wife's going to yell at me. And now the Celtics lost. It doesn't get worse than this.
Oh, man. Well, you keep talking about this local sports bar. Shout them out. Where were you? Where's the water
man.
hole?
Man,
Where's
I had two,
for the
man.
Boston people. What's up?
Oh man, these were just near my house, man. One was like a kind of a Boston college style bar called the Circle.
Okay.
And the other
Circle.
one was
Shout them out.
The Circle. Yeah, shout out to the Circle. Shout out to Bobby and George. And
man.
This other one was just across where I work from, called the Penguin. And when I say literally across the street, it was literally across the street. So I would walk out of the office and cross the street, and boom, I was there. Okay. They had those $4. They had their own Penguin Ale, which was $4.
Love it.
And Boston booze ain't cheap at all. You'd be getting a Bud Light at like for $7 at some of these places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not even draft. It's like bottled. You know what I'm saying? So, those are just my go-to places, just because the vibes. And I don't know. I just decided, hey, I'm just gonna create a relationship with one or two, just so when I keep going, they take care of me and all that. You know, they kind of know the vibe. There'd be days I used to walk in and they'd already have that Stella Artois, already all set for me on the table or something, So, oh yeah.
All right, so I got to know real quick. Did you ever get heckled while you were up there?
Ooh.
In Tampa gear?
Yeah. How's the banter? Yeah. What's up?
How were you?
Yeah. One time, what was it, man? I just remember this one guy. He just came in for one beer. I mean, it looks like he was just having a rough day or something. And I remember, there was just something stupid like Boston related going on the TV. It wasn't even sports or something. But I remember I asked, the bar owner. I was like, hey, can you put on? I forgot what team it was. I was like, maybe the Rays or I think maybe it was the Lightning or something. You know what it was? I know what it was. It was the Buccaneers preseason. I remember it was preseason. So like, a lot of people don't really care too much about the preseason. So I was like, I want to see something Bucs related. And I remember this one guy just across the bar seating area was like, it's preseason, and he goes, and more importantly, it's the Buccaneers. Who cares? And then I was like, I put my beer down. I was like, I care, dude. I'm from Tampa, man. And he just kind of shrugged it off. He shrugged it off. He wasn't even like a local or like a regular kind of guy. I don't know. A lot of people were wondering who he was and all that. He just came in for a cold one and then left after maybe like 10, 15 minutes. So, I mean, I didn't think too much of it. But then again, I was like, I can assure you, I don't remember exactly what was on TV, but it was not more entertaining than watching preseason football. I think it was just, I don't know, maybe the Boston News or some Jeopardy. A couple old heads were watching or something. Who knows?
Oh, man. Well, so you've had an experience. I think you've been to, did you get to a Bruins game? You went to a Bruins game out there?
Yeah, I went to one Bruins game. Okay. Yeah,
so
that was real fun.
Did you make it to a Pats game? Did you make it out there?
No, just because it's in Foxborough, and
is that a ways? That's a ways away.
Yeah, it's about. I mean, it's 40 minutes on a good day.
Yeah,
especially on game day, it can hit an hour or so, and especially
Right.
with all
So
the
there's
parking mumbo
not
jumbo
good
and all
public
that.
transportation, about 40 minutes away from the city center. I
Right.
wonder where that's heard. Well, move the race to Tampa.
Yeah.
But speaking of baseball, though, you've been to one of the cathedrals of baseball, and that's something I've never been. And Chris, I haven't been up there, but you've been to Fenway Park. Overrated, underrated, or the greatest ballpark in the history of mankind? What?
All right. Well, I'm not gonna say greatest ballpark no matter what, unless I'm hitting like almost all of these stadiums. But I'll tell you this: my experience with Fenway Park was probably one of the best ones you could have as a Boston local, because I literally lived like 5 minutes away from the subway station, or we call it the T, because it's the MBTA. I lived 5 minutes away, and there's a station right next to Fenway.
Yeah.
So all that I avoided all the traffic. It took me like 20 minutes. You know, you could tell me 30 minutes before the game starts, hey, I got free tickets to the Red Sox. You want to come? And I would be easily able to make it, So when it came to, stuff like public transportation, made it really easy. The venue was amazing. I forgot exactly what you call it, but I think it's one of the few ballpark stadiums that still do they have like some individual that puts the number on the
the scoreboard, doing it manually instead of digitally.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, they do it manually, which is just something kind of unique that I learned about.
Yep.
But overall, though, I mean, I've been to a couple of Rays games, but I don't know. The vibes are just high. It's the Red Sox, especially during this time of the year, during the summer when I went. This is when it was kind of like, this is all there is to watch. There's no Celtics or Bruins or Pats.
Okay.
So a lot of people were there. I also have to say, just because it's been a while since I went to a Rays game, just the small things I like about it, or like there was a bunch of those food vendors just walking up and down. I mean, I'm talking, they had like just massive like buckets on them of food, popcorn, beer, and all that. But the fans got real loud. There were a lot of times I saw some fans who were getting real aggressive with the opponent's teams, saying all kinds of weird, strange things. It wasn't just normal curse words. I mean, people were saying it was like creative cursing. Honestly, it's like they pulled out a journal and started reading off things that they like came up with, earlier in the morning while they were taking a dump or something. Honestly,
you have a thesaurus for asshole. Like there's a
oh man, just like this one. I remember this one guy called. I remember this guy called. Remember, this was like my first game. I was just sipping on my beer and I was like, dang man, this is getting really aggressive. And then I remember this one big guy, like 6'3", like yelled at one of the opponents, like team member. I think the pitcher, he was like, "Hey, buddy, you look like a used condom." That's what I'm saying. I was like, "What?" Yeah, even the guy turned to me. He's like, "What did I just hear?" I was like, "All right." That was
Boston talk, man.
That was my welcome to Boston moment. But they have this thing where around the 7th inning stretch, they do everyone, the whole crowd sings "Sweet Caroline," which is kind of cool.
They try that down here though, man. I'm like, leave that.
Yeah,
we don't want that.
They try it at Lightning games. We don't need that there.
Yeah, we don't need that here.
No.
Keep that in Boston.
Yeah, please. Oh, I wanted to ask though, did you get to go up on the Green Monster on top of the big green wall? No,
I was not able.
Well, did you at least? You're a marathon runner. You're the only person on the show that's ran a marathon before. So did you get to do the Boston Marathon, or is that like a whole?
No. So the Boston Marathon, you actually have to qualify for it.
That's like okay, all right.
So there's 6. Yeah, I'll just summarize real quick. There's 6 world majors. Yeah. There's 6 world majors you have to qualify for: Tokyo, London, Berlin, Chicago, New York, and Boston.
Okay.
And the only other way you can run is if you join a charity. So a lot of other charities, it's pretty reasonable to raise. I don't know. They say $1,500 to $2,000, but with Boston, it was $1,500 to $2,000 until the Boston Marathon bombings, which was in 2013.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm really happy that people were very enthusiastic about raising money. But unfortunately, I feel like the Boston Athletic Association took an advantage of that, and they jacked up the charity minimum to $7,500.
It's like $8. So like if we have $8,000, we donate to a charity, and then we get to run in the marathon. Is that
you got to raise $8,000?
Okay.
And no matter what,
As a
as a
person?
charity. Yeah,
Oh,
as a
as a
charity
charity.
runner. Oh yeah, just
Oh,
individually. Yeah, no, not the whole team.
let's
Oh yeah.
go.
So the thing is, and they're gonna get the money no matter what, because you have to sign like some little like agreement, and then you have to give them your credit card or debit card information that says, "Hey, listen, if I don't raise 8,000 or 7,500
Swipe
by
it.
this date, they're gonna take it no matter what." You know what I'm
Swipe
saying?
that thing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
Oh
just gonna
no.
swipe that thing. So
Woo!
they're winning no matter what. So
Wow.
yeah, so for me, I was like, I'm sorry, like I'd be happy to raise 1,500 or 2,000 for other marathons, but that is just too damn much. You know what I'm saying? It's like I got
Man.
to be begging, like, the whole world or something to chip in for me,
Yeah.
So for me, I was really interested in qualifying. Got a phenomenal group of runners up in Boston. A lot of great runners. I did the Newport Marathon in Rhode Island, which was really, really cool. It's a Boston Marathon qualifier. So there's only 1 week to apply to qualify for Boston. It's like the first or second week of September. So that's about it. There's only 1 week. So everyone goes online during that week and applies. They submit their other races they ran within the year. And they say, hey, listen, I ran under 3 hours. What's 3 hours if your age is like 15 to 29 and it goes by 5 minutes or like 10 minutes by every 10 years?
My marathon's about 1 week, 2 days, 72 minutes. So it's like,
Yeah.
I got to work on it, but that's.
Yeah, no, you got it. You got it. Don't worry. One day. But oh yeah, man. I mean, the marathon. I've only done a couple as well, so it's a beast. I've done a lot of half marathons, and I thought maybe that would kind of help me out a little bit, and it did up until mile 14, 15, and then you hit this mental wall by like 17, 18 miles, and then you're just fighting for your life. You're doing whatever it takes. I remember there were people like outside pubs like giving out little shots of beer. And I was like, man, listen, I mean, I probably need water or Gatorade, but I'll take beer. I mean, people are giving out jelly beans, Girl Scout cookies.
Beer's got carbohydrates.
They were just giving me whatever I could get my hands on. I was taking just to help me ease the pain and just get through. So yeah, but the Boston Marathon is a phenomenal experience. I did volunteer as a water at one of the water stations for the professionals, which is really intense. Fun fact, they actually have to submit their water bottles like 3 days before the race. And then it's locked in like a little treasure chest.
Make sure there's nothing in there.
Yeah, and then they then they open up the treasure chest in the morning of the marathon, and then they like put them on the tables.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's something I would have never learned. Yep. I would have never learned any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so man, Musaab, we've been grilling you here this has been a really good conversation for over 20 minutes now. And I think we'll move into our next little subject, which I think you are apt to talk about. And we'll kind of get into some headlines. We'll get into some headlines of Tampa Bay. There's 3 big kind of topics that I wanted to bring up that we won't get super in-depth about these, but I'll ask you maybe your opinion on the Buccaneers training camp. Of course, you are one of the hosts of RBLR Bucks, and we hear you every week on that. But is there one thing that you've noticed through Bucks training camp so far that you would stick as like, okay, this is the thing I'm kind of keeping my eye on right now, or that surprised you?
I'd probably just say, I'm kind of just looking at, how these rookies are looking. I'll probably just say, I am, interested in seeing, okay, how are they actually performing. But what I really kind of want to start finding more information about, up until the start of preseason is, kind of the physical aspects, because there's only so much you can learn during training camp, and even with preseason, I guess. Then I mean, these guys are really gonna see their success or their potential once they actually go against real opponents. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to see who's kind of really hustling out there, who's also looking healthy. Whether it's our rookies or our seasoned veterans as well. I've heard some good things about Shaq Barrett, for example. Who's coming off an injury. He's still taking kind of some precautionary measures, for example. But it's good to know those things are kind of working out well. But that's really about it, though. Just day by day reading some observations from these reports.
Yeah.
One being that some people have actually said that like there's this QB battle is actually like a lot closer than some people had thought. Some good things coming out of Baker and Kyle Trask, and then some bad things coming out of.
Chris, you're shaking your head. Chris, what that seems like it's hitting a nerve. What's up with the QBs there?
I mean, we're a month and away from the season roughly, and we don't even know who's starting yet. So,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that says a lot as a fan. We brought in Baker. Trask has been here a couple years now. The Gator homers want him in there. Me personally, I'm rolling with Baker myself. I think you got to get the best out of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin that you can right now, right?
Yep.
Evans is let's be honest, he's probably peaked. I mean, he's past his prime, I would say. I think he's still got a couple years left.
Yeah, come on.
He's taking a beating, he goes over the middle a lot. Winston used to leave him to hang him out to dry a few times, so he's taking some hits.
Yeah.
But I think Baker's got to be the guy. I think this is the most intriguing training camp in a while, just because of our quarterback situation. We had Brady. Before that, we had Winston. We didn't have any kind of drama going on in the training camp era of quarterbacks. We knew who was starting. So I think this is a big training camp for us. There's a lot of optimism going into this season. I don't know what to expect. I think Baker's had flashes. He's been in the league a couple years now. I think going his direction is the better way to go, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
If Trask outshines him, then roll with Trask. That's not my decision to make.
Yeah.
Just as a fan's perspective, I would rather have Baker in there personally. I think, like I said, we got to get the best out of Evans we can right now, Godwin, while they're still here and healthy. So I think it's definitely an intriguing training camp. I think there's going to be a lot to watch. One more thing too is Joe Tryon, man. Like he's got to have a good year this year. He was a first round pick. There was a lot of questions about him coming out of college. We drafted him first round. Like, is this going to be another first round bust? Haynes Adams. Like, we can go back to all the first round busts the Bucs have drafted. It's a lot. It adds up. I've been a fan my whole life. It
I
really
agree,
does,
man. It's like there's way more questions than answers
I agree.
coming out of this. I mean, I was listening to the Bucs show that we do, and if Trask takes a giant leap, great, cool. I mean, I guess that's the point of bringing Baker in, to say like, okay, look, Baker should be better than Trask. He just experience, and at this point, you've been in the NFL for long enough that you should be at least better than Kyle Trask. But if that motivates Trask to put the work in and do better, even better. But if Baker's who we got, maybe we haven't seen the top of his game yet, and maybe he hasn't gotten the full rub and that he should have gotten, and maybe he didn't get he's a product of being through different coaching and being traded and not getting his chance. Well, this is it. This is your chance. So can you step up to the plate? Like, your only competition is a dude that hasn't played in the NFL yet. So if you can't beat that guy on merit, then okay, maybe you shouldn't be the starter. But to me, it was something that Musaab brought up about, like, the younger guys. He was saying the rookies. There's a guy who's in his second year that I've been looking at, and that's Zion McCollum. Zion McCollum had a horrible. I think he would be the first to recognize that too. Is like, it was a horrible rookie year for him, missing tackles, doing all this kind of stuff. But he's been making some waves through the first, reports that he had a pick six in training camp the other day. He's just firing all cylinders, and it looks like he's a dude that's going to make a leap in that second year, and hopefully he's gone through the bumps and bruises of a rookie year. I mean, we shouldn't always expect rookies to be good coming right out of college. There's an adjustment period, I think, for everyone, but this team is really young, and they're getting younger, and they're getting young on purpose. And so the question, this is why we don't know. It's like, if the youngsters are good, then great. We'll win some games, and we'll make our way. And maybe it isn't as much of a drop off as some people expect. But if these youngsters who are going to get position time, they're going to get time on the field. If all these youngsters don't pan out, it could be a very low bottom, and then maybe that turns into good draft picks. I mean, whatever silver linings we could draw from that, but it's just, who knows? Maybe they put together, and I mean, if people are confident that inside the building that they're going to put it together, and they might be a playoff team, and the division's really weak too. So there's that too. It's like, we could still suck and technically be the second best team in our division, just because everyone else is trash, possibly. So I don't know, man, but there's a lot to talk about with the Bucs.
I was going to say one more thing before more thing I wanted to say before I forgot was I did read a report talking about possible dual quarterback. Trask.
Man, that would.
I don't know.
No
like
way.
I don't think so, but I did read like it's a possibility. You know, I don't think it happens.
Does nothing I'm not for me, bro.
I know I'm not a fan of it myself, but you know how rumors get started, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I think the Bucs are gonna be able to run the ball better.
You're
this year.
winning.
I think White gets
you're
a lot
winning
more
4
carries,
games
so.
all year.
Yeah.
If you
and we got a tough
what's
schedule.
the saying? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. You know,
right?
Like, that's it.
New OC too, so there's a lot going on for the Bucs this offseason, man. It's a lot.
I mean, if your second quarterback is like a Taysom Hill or a Wildcat package or they introduce some new game, but what does Kyle Trask offer that Baker Mayfield doesn't? Or vice versa, right? Like it's I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Kyle Trask stands are definitely on the telling. They're on the same boat where they're like, he hasn't gotten a shot. He didn't get a chance. He needs to get a shot, and it's like, earn it. Get there. But if they're both playing at the same time, or this series is the Baker series, and okay, this series is the Trask series. If we're doing that in the middle of the season,
it's gonna be a long season.
Then that's my only concern is if we are to get Kyle Trask, in the draft earlier on, second round. Yeah. I feel like there's a reason why he wasn't behind Brady instead of Gabbert. That's my kind of thing. Yeah. It's
obviously you had Super Bowl expectations though, man. Like, I don't know. But yeah, if you couldn't beat Blaine Gabbert in practice,
that's my kind of issue is like, all right, fine. Obviously you're not going to beat Brady, but I mean, there should have been maybe more. The way that Baker and Kyle Trask are supposedly battling it out, I would have expected something like that to happen between Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask, but it wasn't at all. It was just all about Brady. And then, by the way, then, if Brady goes down, we got Gabbert. But it was never, okay, well, what about that second-round pick, Kyle Trask, Is he still learning, year after year after year?
Yep. Well, that's what I'm saying is like, I mean, I don't know. But who knows what they say publicly and versus behind closed doors. But it's basically like Baker, you bring him in, you say, this is your chance to show us. It's your position. Like, just give it to it. Say, you tell him, you're the man until you fail.
Yeah.
It's yours to lose. Because if he can't handle the pressure, he shouldn't be the quarterback anyway. So you just tell him straight up. And then you tell Trask, buddy, we brought this guy in to take your position. Do something about it, right?
He's got weapons and he's got a run game now, man. Play action. Roll him out.
And unfortunately, you're in a position where you don't have a clear-cut number one, and you want to get something out of your number two that you maybe, because the ceiling is maybe he's a starter in the NFL. I don't always, not it's a case-by-case basis, but in that particular one, you say, Baker, here you go. And if you can't cut it, then we're going to give the young kid a shot. And you tell the young kid, you better make us wrong. Prove us wrong every day. Prove us that you have what it takes, that you exceed our expectations, to kind of light a fire under someone's butt, man. And
that's what they need.
It doesn't always work, but with the quarterback position and the kind of thinking about the philosophy of motivation and things like that, it might just work in that particular instance. But one thing, I guess, you guys watching the Rays, the big thing too is the Rays now. Trade deadline is in a couple days. Man, Rays social media is on fire right now. Like some people, I mean, I'm just sitting here watching it where I go, half the people are sitting here going like, guys, it's a tough stretch. I mean, it's a historically bad stretch for the Rays right now in July. There are a number of, some people are saying it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. This team is fine and they're okay. And there's scheduling things and whatever. But then the other half of people are saying, why are we not trading? Why are we not improving the bullpen? Why are we not finding a bat? Why are we not doing a number of things that they could do, that they have a couple days to do it? So I guess, Chris, have you been my little boy? Let me get him on screen since he's making so much noise here. What's up, dude? What's up? He's in the sports lounge. Yeah, are you tired? It's 11:41. Don't be tired. Go get him. But Chris, any thoughts? I don't know if you've been paying attention to all this, but what are you thinking on the Rays and the trade deadline?
Man, there was talks of Lance Lynn. He's already gone.
Yeah.
The Rangers made a move and got Scherzer last night from the Mets. So the Rangers are gearing up for to me, man, it's World Series or bust for me. I'm over the AL East titles. I'm over the wild cards. I'm over winning the division. Like, it's time, man. Like, we went into the playoffs last year against Cleveland and we couldn't do anything. We couldn't score. We couldn't hit. And now it's happening all over again. Like, we started the season just smashing the ball. And I don't know if it was the new pitch clock and it was helping the Rays. I don't know if the Rays were just, they were hitting, man. Like, we were scoring 6-7 runs a game, setting records left and right. Like, and now we're struggling to score, and we are battling injuries with pitching. We probably need some better starters. The bullpen's been rough. I don't know if they're just burned out. I just don't see the Rays making a move. There was talks of Ohtani. Obviously, that was fun, but we knew that wasn't going to happen.
If we would have got Shohei Ohtani, come on, bro.
I think this is what happens when you don't spend the money. Like, you can only get so far. Eventually we're going to run into a juggernaut of a team that they're paying there's these guys that we can't afford. And there's a reason they're paid a lot of money. They're good clutch hitters. They're good clutch pitchers. The Rays don't have that. We might have a guy like Shane and Glasnow, but how healthy can Glasnow stay? Like, how healthy is Shane right now? Like, Shane looked much better in his previous starting here versus Houston when we got the win, but the bats aren't consistent enough. There's been, Franco's been benched, for his attitude. What's going on in the clubhouse? Is it Cash? Ever since Cash pulled Snell out of the World Series, people have been upset. I've been upset. Sure. I was genuinely like, I could talk about that for days. But anyways, I don't think they make a move. We do have the toughest schedule for the rest of the season as far as the MLB goes.
They play a lot of home games though now. They've been on the road.
Tough division. It's a lot of factors, man. Like, look at our payroll for the Rays to be this to keep up. I just think it's too much. Like, I think we can hang.
All right.
But to be able to hang around for the World Series and make a deep run, and not to be negative, I just don't think we have it. In my opinion, we're going to need some more consistency down the line if that's what's going to happen.
Musaab, man, you don't have to get into the X's and O's of all the things, but like, are there vibes? Is there like a what's the atmosphere? You've been in a couple places where, people live and die by every single game that happens, and we're getting to be honest with you, the fan base is like, that's where we're at right now, is that if they win, they're the best team ever. We're winning the World Series. Oh my God. LOL. We're the best. You just got nuked by Reiki. And then if we lose, it's fire Cash and trade everyone. And why isn't Aranda batting third right now? It's like, it's this, it's crazy right now. So I don't know what the vibes are. What are you feeling maybe from the outside?
Oh man, I'll tell you this. I think the vibes have just completely gone downhill for sure. I remember when they first started out the season. I remember, just going on social media and everything. Everyone was just so hype, and you were just seeing posts everywhere, especially on, these kind of non-biased accounts like ESPN, Sports Center. You were just seeing all kinds of crazy things going on. That
it was historic.
It was exactly. It was historic indeed, and I'm like, oh wow, man, this is big for us. And then it just slowly, week by week, it just slowly did really start dying down. And then, everyone, all my kind of, friends on social media who are, big supporters of the Rays, they kind of started chirping about the Rays as well. Things kind of started dying down. And then what I've noticed, when it comes to things like the media as well as, then a bunch of different kind of articles come out regarding different issues, and then people are sharing their own opinions, and then these kind of big reporters or these big kind of websites are sharing their own thoughts that are very also rather vague. They're like, oh, this could be a possibility, or that could be a possibility, or this seems like this is the issue, or maybe X, Y, and Z. I'll probably just leave it at that. Is just the vibes are different for sure, and I'd probably say just knowing about the trade deadline that's coming up. I'm hoping, the Rays make some kind of major splash.
I don't look. I'm preaching patience. I'm preaching patience. Would have been nice to go get a Ohtani or some giant name guy, but it's like they weren't going to do that. If they bring someone in, and they still have a couple days to do this, but if they're bringing people in, these are these marginal depth pieces that they will need to survive the rest of the regular season, because I think they already have the core of what they want in the playoffs. Because in reality, you just got to get into the tournament, and then when you get in the tournament, you got to get hot. And to get hot, you only need 3 quality starting pitchers that can get you to the World Series, and you need a bullpen that can leverage the rest of those high leverage, intense moments. And so right now, anything and everything is an audition for that. Anything and everything is an audition. Are you the top 3 pitchers that are going to start, and can cash put you in a high leverage position, and can you get out of it? Other than that, you're going to see dudes get called up, and they're going to be innings eaters, and they're going to be just kind of managing all that kind of stuff so that everyone's healthy and ready to go for the postseason. And on the bat side, man, Chris, you nailed it, man. Like, they need to score more runs. They need to get the hitting. They're trying a couple different approaches, and it hasn't worked in July. It's been an absolute shit show in July. I mean, like, I use that term because that's the only way to describe it. It is historically bad. It's if not the worst, the second worst that the Rays have ever been in the month of July. And it's thankfully it ends. Today or tomorrow is the last day of July. So it's like July will be over. And then you know what? New me, new month, new me, right?
It's crunch time.
And here we go. And so there's a lot of things shaking up. The trade deadline, I think, is a mental aspect that people don't talk about a lot. Is that so the Rays are a team that will sell anybody. They will sell anybody. They will bring in anybody. They will sell anybody if it makes sense. They will do it. Including Wander Franco. Like, to be honest with you, man, like they would sell anybody if it made the most sense. That's what they've done. That's why they're more successful than other teams that have the same payroll, right? So if you're in that organization, though, these are human beings. They're not dot points on a pie chart or a spreadsheet or whatever you want to say, right? These aren't just numbers. These are human beings. And so if you're in that clubhouse, knowing full well that, like, any one of you could be traded until Tuesday night or Wednesday morning or whenever the deadline is, until that time passes and you get your alarm goes off that, like, you're safe, you're where you're at. That might, it might loosen your mentality a little bit. So
For sure.
Until that happens, on August 1st or on August 2nd on Wednesday, we'll know who our team is, and we'll know from that point where we need to tinker until you get to the tournament. And then at that point, it's a crapshoot, and whoever's playing the most hot baseball at the time. So I say that to say, like, take a step off the ledge, guys. Like, not you particularly, but like the people that are out there that are like, don't live and die by every game. It is a marathon, quite literally. And
got to win the series. You
got to
win your series games against the AL East for sure. We got to at least.
Not that they haven't been perfect. I mean, there's always areas to improve, but it's like, I trust that these players will be who they've been in the long run. And so right now they're on a down slope, but I think there will be regression back to the mean for a lot of these, especially the hitters. Anyway, I preach patience because I'm optimistic that we will figure it out, because these are good players.
Maybe a call up too. You never know. Shake it up.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is they have, like, I think you'll see moves because they have a bunch of players in the minors that are kind of getting log jammed. Mead, Aranda, there are guys they could bring in or could clear room for to bring in. But these are the debates that people are having, because it's like, well, who do you get rid of on the team to bring in a guy from the minors? And there's a whole other can of worms there. So the last thing we'll bring up is, because I'm wearing the green and gold today, is that our Rowdies out in St. Pete, they have a brand new coach. Again, shout out to Neil Collins, the old coach who built this program into what it is. And he did so well here that he's now in England hoping to build another program up the pyramid in the English Football League. But we brought in a former player, just like Neil Collins was a former player, Nicky Law, who played with us for about 15 appearances last year. He's a Premier League player in England and all that kind of stuff. Big time. Kind of finished his career here in America. Now he got his first ever head coaching gig. And Musaab Tariq was actually at the game last night.
Yeah.
I think that was your first ever Rowdies game.
It was.
And I think you had some family with you. And I think that you got some of the magic that I keep talking about with Al Lang. So it was a great game. The Rowdies won. They won 3-0. A tale of two halves. But we don't need to get in the super X's and O's of that. But Musaab, can you tell somebody who's never been to Al Lang what that experience was like for you for your first time down in St. Pete?
Oh man, the best way, it was very, I mean, I don't want to say it was not like hype and exciting, but up until entering Al Lang and all that, it's just good vibes, pleasant. It's downtown St. Pete. There's a plethora of places you can eat, grab a drink, you got a beautiful view. And then boom, you're walking in Al Lang. It's the small things that I really value as well. It's just the logistics, just how easy it is. You go through that little security thing and then boom, you have a bunch of just, people just scan your ticket real quick. So super easy process.
Yep.
Got a bunch of these seating ambassadors helping everyone around.
Okay.
The vibes are good. The fans are all ready and hype. And I mean, that's really about it, though. I have to say one thing I didn't realize was it's right by the water. I'm sitting in section 216. I'm looking out. The players are warming up. The sun's shining on the water.
Come on,
I don't know exactly, but there was a couple of helicopters flying around the area. I don't know
what
airport
right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And you're downtown, so yeah.
So I was like, okay. I thought maybe they were kind of, they were like, showing
no,
Al Lang
it's
from
that
above.
Chinook helicopter flyover they get every. No.
So even just from the start of the game, I was fortunate enough, just from some guidance from people like you, Eureka, and some of the other RBLR's team members, James and Carlos, to be as close as I can to Ralph's mob, which was really, really dope.
Okay, what'd you think of the mob? Like, what's up? Come on.
Oh, I mean, the mob was hype. When I first got there, we got there a little early, so I was like, okay. I thought they were already gonna be just going buck wild. I thought people were just gonna be
warm ups.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I was like, okay, maybe it's I don't know, maybe this is like a different kind of night. Maybe the Ralph's mob, maybe they all couldn't make it. But then once the game actually started, they were getting real wild. Kind of really upping the energy in the first half, and then the second half came along, and oh my God, it's like someone just cranked it up. Everyone just started cranking up the energy. Ralph's mob was going wild.
Yes.
It was amazing. The smoke, the flags waving around, everyone cheering around. They had a couple of Ralph's mob members just walking around, the other seating areas, hyping everyone up. Like, hey, let's all start clapping and stuff. You could hear the drums. So it was phenomenal. Honestly, it was. I haven't been. Maybe this is like my second or third ever like professional soccer game, and it was amazing. Okay. Honestly, I just love every single second of it. Obviously, I love coming out with a win as well. That was huge. And actually, the first goal, there was just something. I don't know what it was. Something in my head saying, like, I want to record this corner kick just cause, so I can kind of just send it. Just so I can send it to my friends saying, hey, like, look how good the seats are. Look how close I am to the Rowdies only for like $25. And then boom, comes a goal. So I was like, oh my God. The first thing I did was I saved the video like 3 times. I was like, save. I was like, yo, I cannot lose this video. I got to post it everywhere now. This is like my new like welcome to Rowdies moment. So long story short, it was amazing. My father tagged along and he loved it as well. So
love it.
Honestly, it was a blast. And yeah, you best believe I'll be going to many more of those in the future.
I'm over here cheesing, my like cheekbones hurt because I'm like, it's an experience, and like, I don't know how much into soccer you were before. Are you like, do you watch international soccer at all? Like,
Yeah, a little bit. I watch the big games, like Champions League is what I
Okay.
follow. A couple of those like big, like EPL
Okay.
matchups.
But like, do you
I'll
follow it
watch.
like regularly? Like, are you like every week I watch soccer or
No,
whatever? No. Okay.
no.
All right. But so this is what I try to tell people is I'm like, even if you don't like soccer or whatever, or you're not into it or whatever, like going to Ao Lang will just it infiltrates your system, and like it's this magical place where you are close enough to the action. They are a great team, actually. Like they're a really really good soccer team, and even if it's like not a bunch of goals being scored, there's so much energy and excitement and passion, and just being a fan of the experience is almost good enough, even if you didn't care about the soccer. And if you end up getting into the soccer, that's cool. But like, it's just a place to be, it's a place to experience, and it's its own special charm. And we might not have that forever. Like, I don't want to get into the whole talk about stadiums being built and stuff, but like, you have that experience right now to go to St. Pete and be next to the water and have that experience, because it might not be around in a decade or whatever. They might build a new stadium or change it or whatever, but right now you live in the time where you can go see it and have that memory forever. Because I have them, and now, like, Musaab, you were going crazy. We were chatting last night about the whole thing. You're sending out your Instagram stories and whatever, and was like, you got it. You saw the experience, you lived it, and I want that forever. Including Chris over here. I don't think he's ever been to a soccer game ever.
Yeah, I have. I've been to Orlando City.
Oh, boo! No. That's horrible.
What, man?
They
It was
suck.
a long time ago.
No. Yeah, no. I don't even want to like think about those purple assholes. But I guess the last thing we'll do is we'll go into a little rapid fire. Musaab, man, if you want to stick around for this, we're gonna open some sports cards. We're gonna talk about some beer real quick. Actually, first we'll talk about beer of the week. I've been nursing all day. I got another one sitting here. We'll finish that one.
Okay.
Our beer of the week: Golden Road Mango Cart.
All right.
Come on, man. Love it. This is their mango wheat ale. I don't know if you guys are into wheat ales but every week, because I like drinking, I'm gonna at least me, I'm gonna open a couple of these, sip a beer for the working man. Oh, hell yeah. I dig it, man. You should check this out. So if you haven't been, it's a California beer, but we're gonna do more local beers. Maybe if we get a sponsor, if you're a local brewery, I could be drinking your beer right now instead of talking about Mango Road. But yeah, man, I dig it. It's light. It's a weedy beer. Like, I don't know if you guys are into a lot of Hefeweizens, which at the Berry House, where we had our RBLR watch party, they do a bunch of really good, like, they do Hefeweizen, they do a bunch of cool wheat beers and other lagers. But I'm not a big mango fruity fan, but like, this isn't exactly like sweet. It's kind of a tart experience. So it's like, I don't feel like I'm drinking fruit juice, but I also don't feel like I have like a pine needle IPA kind of thing going on. So it's like bitter in a good way, nice and smooth. You should get yourself a Mango Cart. They also make a non-alcoholic version of this. That's one of the, I don't know how many people drink non-alcoholic beers, but I'm a geek for this stuff. So they actually make a non-alcoholic version of this that's like solid. If you were ever in a position, like if you're driving a boat or something and you don't want to be, get a DUI, you could be sipping on some of these beers while you're fishing. Who knows? But yeah, maybe we'll talk about some beer later on. But what I absolutely want to do, if I can get this, to work correctly, we're gonna flip over to my table that I've got here, because I think it's gonna be the chance to shine for Chris Glaser here. I'm gonna on the show, the Sports Lounge, we want to get into a lot of the things that are about the lifestyle and the experience of being a sports fan, and part of that is collecting cards. So I think one thing we'll do is we'll open up some baseball cards, soccer cards, football cards, wrestling cards, all that kind of stuff. Today, in honor of Chris Glaser, we're gonna open up some hockey cards. So I've got a couple stuff from
Austin Matthews on the cover.
Man, yeah, so we got Austin Matthews, right? 2021-22 hockey Young Guns Extended Series, and then some newer MVP cards. Because in here we got Hugo Anfeld is who I'm really looking for out of here. Who knows if he'll ever be a starter in the NHL or whatever, but he's kind of the rookie that I want to collect out of here. So, Chris, man, do you get into sports cards at all?
I have not.
You could say no.
I'm about to though. It seems pretty interesting hobby.
Yeah, I don't know. There's pros and cons of the hobby.
Like you said, gamble to it, you know. I mean, but
it is gambling, like, because what we're trying to do is, well, one, I'm trying to open the package. I'm really bad at it. So, like with sports cards, you know, you're looking for the rare stuff. So, like, we were kind of talking about this off air, but like the first big thing is like a rookie card, right? If you get a rookie card of someone that's a high prospect or a Hall of Fame level prospect or something like that, you could have something on your hands that's worth some money. And then from there, there's other things like we're looking for autograph cards and things called relic cards, which have maybe pieces of memorabilia, jerseys, or a baseball bat, or what, I don't know what they would do with hockey, but like, you know, like maybe a cut of the sweater or something like that.
Yeah.
And those are definitely cool. Or like serial numbered cards where it might say, okay, there's only 200 of these cards out in existence, and you got number 45 or 62 of them or whatever, right? So those are usually what most collectors are looking for, are the rookie cards or the relic cards or the autograph cards. But for the rest of us, you know, it's also collecting your favorite players, collecting your team, collecting all those things. And so, look, the first card. But I love the artwork. I love everything about sports cards. Like, I just love its piece of Americana. But check this out. So we'll just talk about the artwork first. So we got our guy from the Kraken. We got two different little photos. We got the main photo and then a separate action photo to the side. The name, see, I don't really like the name being sideways like that.
It does look weird.
But Upper Deck does that. And then we'll take a look at the back of these cards. This is pretty clean design. A different, actually, that's the same. It's that photo on the back. You can see it a little better there with some stats. He came over from the Predators. But if you see any players that you are like, dude, we got to talk about that guy, then let's open that
for
up.
Sure.
So we got Jan Rock, Connor McMichael, Jared McCann. So I think you're going to have a lot of these Kraken players. This is probably their first pictures in Kraken uniforms.
Yeah, McCann came over from Pittsburgh.
So here, Austin Matthews. Now, the other thing, too, is in an extended series, you might have players that were in like series 1 or series 2, and they have like a different photo or a different, like a variant or something like that.
Look at that stash,
dude. Isn't that so I collect some sports cards that are like weird. Like I like weird sports cards that have like weird pictures of people holding objects or errors or misprints and stuff like that. And like, imagine this is your favorite player and you get this dude and it's like his 5 head and his mustache. Like that. That's crazy. But here's Linus Ullmark of the Bruins.
A pretty good year for them,
dude. So you, how was the Bruins Stadium, Musaab?
Oh, it was amazing. Honestly, it was electrifying. Yeah, it was dope. TD Garden's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see some Celtics games there too?
No, I didn't see any Celtics games.
Dude, you're a big, huge basketball guy.
Yeah, man. You know, I was balling on a budget over there.
Ryan Reeves.
Yeah, right. Balling on a budget. Dalton Heinen. Andreas Johansson, Victor Arvidsson. There we go. Oh, boom. Here we go.
I bet he's not on the Lightning anymore.
Look at this little PEB guy. So I collect, I collect all the Lightning guys too. So here's PEB with his he's wearing look at that, man. So I'll keep that.
He will be missed in the face-off circle for sure.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Frederick Gaudreau. Oh. Look at this. So here's another. Ooh. So this is a variant card. This is Upper Deck Canvas. So this actually has like a.
Look at that. Look at that beauty, baby. Stammer dropping the hammer.
Corey Perry, Upper Deck Canvas. Check this out. So a different variant has a different, like this will be like a set that's inside of the set. That's like a you know, if you dig these, because like they have this cool little like canvas material to it. Bam! Look at that. So look at this. This is I couldn't have made this better. I got some lightning content on these
Sure.
cards because sometimes there won't be any of the team you like. Derek Brassard, Mikko Rantanen. I know I'm an Avalanche guy too, so Mikko Rantanen of the Stanley Cup champion Avalanche, Jake Bean, Juho Lammikko. I'm gonna butcher these names, Chris.
Yeah, some of them Eric Holla.
Yeah. So it's a checklist. I hate these. These are the worst cards in the world. Checklist. It's just, you know, maybe a cool photo of some people,
There's
and then
Mitch Marner.
there you go. Here's Mitch
Oh,
Marner.
okay.
Shout these guys out, man. If these are like
Yeah.
really good guys, Mitch Marner, Alex
Goligoski.
Mm-hmm. Here's Brandon Tanev.
Yeah.
Oh man, what if we got a Yanni Gordon?
Anton Stroman.
X-Lightning
right there.
Evander Kane.
Ooh, Kane beating people up.
Anti-Ranta. That's it. So those are the old ones. So we got a couple. I really like these for the personal collection right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's open up the 22-23 MVP series. So this is like a Upper Deck, same company, but they'll do like they'll do their normal set, which is just their they'll call these like the Series 1, Series 2, Extended Series. Then this is MVP, which is like the vibe is a little different with the artwork. It's supposed to be like a little more upscale, and so you'll see like way more of the action photo with a little bit of some accoutrement artwork on the sides here. So, man, again, call any of these dudes out that are like super cool. Jesse Puljujarvi. Oh, let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
Oh,
Second card in the pack.
Oh yeah,
that.
Big Vic, baby. Let's go.
Okay, but here's what I'm talking about. Like this card is for all intents and oh my god, there's
another
there's
one.
a Killorn.
There's a Killorn. He's gone too.
Yeah, I know. But so here's the thing: is like this card, technically, it's worthless. I mean, it's maybe worth like $1, right?
Right.
Maybe okay. But like if you're collecting your favorite team or your Lightning or this is your favorite player or something like that, that's what's cool about this. So here we go. Victor Hedman. Love it. And so what's cool about this, so this has not a lot of statistics or whatever, but it's more of like you get to learn a little bit about the player. So like, especially if you're a kid and you're like, who the hell is Jesse Puljujarvi? You know, it'll have a little bit about him. So boom. Actually, here's some trivia here. He scored a power play goal in the second period against the Islanders, giving him a career high of 18 markers in a season that put him over two shy of Dan Boyle's single-season Lightning record for a defenseman.
Good old Danny boy.
Yeah, how was Danny Boyle, man? We were talking a little bit about old guys on the Lightning pod.
He was such a good player. He was so crucial to them winning the cup that year, man.
Yeah.
Him and Freddie Modine, and man, that team was so good.
Yeah. And of course, here's Killorn talking about, hey, man, sucks a killer. It's gone, but so it's these little moments. Killorn scored twice in the first period against the Coyotes for his 5th and 6th goals of the season. Then he had an assist. It was part of a 4-game goal scoring streak for the winger. So it's like pointing out these tiny little details throughout the season. We're going to keep those off to the side. Here's Robbie Fabry. Still have gotten no, like, I mean, pulling cards is gambling. So it's like, you might buy a bunch of packs of cards and not get a single like card that's worth money or whatever, whatever you want to say. So people collect for different reasons, though. Here's Michael Bunting of the Leafs, Alexander Barkov of our little brother, the Panthers, Dylan Cousins, Cale Makar. He's a pretty good defenseman. We're pulling a lot of good defensemen, right? You got Hetty and Makar in the same. You make a pretty good team out of these packs.
For sure.
Ryan O'Reilly. He's been like all over the place. Here's Jason Robertson and these
Robo, baby.
Look at these lime green Dallas Star
Robo
sweaters, bro. Wow.
He had a great year.
Robin Lerner. Yeah. Leonard.
Yep.
Kyle Connor.
He had a good year.
And okay, so here's this is a subset. This is called domains, right?
Cole Caulfield.
of the United States of
Canadians.
America.
Yeah.
And he plays for the Canadians, but then he played for the World Junior Championship with Team USA in 2021.
Okay.
And they won gold in Edmonton. So
He got hurt last year.
That's pretty cool. It's a cool little card. Tom Wilson. So this is a variant too. I don't think this is numbered, but so if you notice, right, like the rest of this artwork, the MVP is like blue, and on this one it's like a silver signature. So this is like a sub variant. I mean, depending on the player, it could be worth a little bit more. Some people collect these. Like you could collect the silver signature series of all the entire base set, right? There's a lot of different things you can do. Kevin Fiala, Ice Battles. This is another subset. Ice Battles of Kevin Fiala. And he's got like, dude, you're a gamer, Chris. You like this? Kevin Fiala, overall. 85 overall, 90 speed, 88 awareness. But none of those numbers are less than 85. How does that like? How do you average 85 if the lowest number you have is 85?
I mean, ratings in games like that are so it's so minute.
That's funny. Jordan Zucker in the old school. Look at man, I love those Pittsburgh, like from the Gin and Juice, Snoop Doggy Dogg era. Like, ooh, are they the same logo or are they two different Penguin logos? There's like, they look maybe the same.
Was one? Yeah, I think it's the same.
Jordan Stahl, Boone Jenner, TJ Oshie. Speaking of American hockey players.
Yep.
Craig Smith, Philip Runnick, Christian Dvorak, Ramis Dahlin, Jeremy Swayman, Elias Peterson.
He's good.
Gabriel Landeskog, another really good Avalanche guy. Spencer Knight, and Alex Iafallo. So yeah, these are pretty cool cards, man. But like so with a series like this, unless you really like the artwork or you really like because I like statistics on the back of these, personal preference. But like unless you get kind of a cool subset or maybe a player from a different team that you like none of this is worth. I mean, I could be wrong. There could be a young gun in here that's worth a few more dollars than I'm thinking, but that's not the point. That's not why I do it. That's not why I do cards, man. I'm more about having fun and collecting cool dudes that you dig. And let me get you all set up here, but that's a little fun, man. We'll figure out. That's kind of what I want to introduce into this show is a little bit more about everything else that isn't just going to the players playing the game. And with that said, one of the things that fans get into is sports betting. So, Chris, this is your time to shine, Betty. I've bored everyone with these sports card things, and you've been sitting there very patiently waiting to give us your bet of the week. So I'm trying to make you money with sports cards, right? We're gonna get you some money with these sports cards one day. Chris, you're going to try to help us win some money with betting. Now, of course, this is not like advice. You're going to lose. If you do this bet, you'll lose. Let me just say that now. But I'm from the future. And I'm saying that this bet will suck. But no, Chris, what's up, man? Make us some money. What are you looking at?
So I use Prize Picks myself. It's a DFS. Obviously, we can't. Sports books aren't here yet.
We're looking for sponsorships too.
Word on the street, though. Word on the street. Hard Rock might be back August 21st.
Okay.
Word on the street. It's technically it's legal now. The judge has turned it over. The Seminoles are revamped the app. If you haven't gotten the app, go check it out. It's Hard Rock Bet now. They got and actually they offer a parlay that no other app offers. So it's
call me Hard Rock. Call me Hard Rock.
Let's go. We're getting there, and then that's the week before college football too. So that's some big news in Florida, man. That's, we had it for a month a couple years ago. I dropped a couple parlays, won a couple $100, got hooked, and then they took it away. So I use Prize Picks myself. I've been getting into the baseball stuff as of late. I've hit pretty decent. Baseball's really tough. It's tough to pick, especially with it being player props only allowed in Florida right now, unfortunately. So like I said, August 21st is getting closer. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is give a pick of the day. for the day itself. That I like, that I think is favored myself. So for today, my matchup is Detroit and the Marlins. I got Tariq Skubal under 5.5 strikeouts. Miami does not strike out a lot. I believe they are 6th in the league right now in Ks. Their last 3, they're only averaging about 8 Ks a game. Skubal on the road isn't that good of a pitcher on the road. I think he gets 5 maybe against the Marlins. So I'm taking him under 5.5 Ks today. That is my pick of the day. Ks, like I said, Ks in baseball, it can be tough. But I've had a couple good runs lately with Ks, kind of getting used to it, kind of getting to see the lines move a lot, getting into the odds. And odds in baseball are tough, man. Odds in football, it tends to lean more towards that way. Baseball odds, it can be hit or miss just because, there's so many games, there's so many variables that go into it. Righty, lefty matchups with percentages of teams. How often is a team striking out on the road versus home? How well does a pitcher pitch on the road versus home? There's so many variables that go into baseball player props. Once we can get into the money lines and the spreads, I think it'll be a little easier to get some parlays going here and get some more solid picks in there. But Skubal is my under 5.5 Ks. I don't know. I know some other apps, Prize Picks has him at 5.5. I don't know. Some other apps might have him at 5, maybe. Even if he's at 5, you could still take the under. Maybe he pushes at 5. So that's my pick of the day, though. But definitely getting excited if Hard Rock's back, man. I know,
buddy.
Florida's been waiting and waiting. We had it for a month, and they gave it to us, and then they just took it away. So.
That's what I miss most about Massachusetts, man. Oh, man, Massa's got legal right before March Madness, and I remember everybody and their mother was on FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM. Oh, yeah, a lot of people, even including me, I remember a lot of people got those kind of nice little promos, referral codes, and all that. It was a big thing up there, and man, it was fun, and then, you come down to Florida,
come back here,
and it's like, oh, sorry. No, they take your location.
What did you dabble in? What did you really like to bet on out there?
Oh, for me, man, it was. I hopped on the March Madness a little bit. Sometimes a little bit of baseball, just because someone else. I had a couple buddies at the sports bar who would tell me, "Oh, yo, bro, this is a lock." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is the lock.
Yeah, everything's a lock.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everything's a lock to them. But no, UFC. I love doing UFC. Sounds a little odd just because sometimes it would be early morning, but like right before work, some like ATP tennis games would be going on. So yeah, I do tennis. I don't know. For some reason, I enjoy like individual sports just because it's like, you can't blame it on anyone else but them. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
But I had a little phase where I would just hit the under for WNBA games.
Okay.
You can bet on anything now.
Yeah.
So there's cornhole,
all kinds of things, and then even with NBA, but I'll probably say I didn't get into it up until right before March Madness. But I feel like the real hype is usually during football, because I remember like last year, a lot of people would be chatting about, player props and all that kind of stuff, during then, how many receiving yards is this player going to get or not, or people's 10-leg parlays, they'd be putting
I love doing that.
It'd
be like 10-leg parlays for $2. You win like $300. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I love it. I always do. So like, again, don't ever take my advice with betting, because you will always lose. I lose all the time. And so again, it could be a problem for people. Don't put your whole life savings on football games and stuff. Don't do that. Please do this for fun. Whatever amount of money you're willing to literally ball up and throw out of the be, that's what you should do.
You got to have your own rules.
You got to have your own rules. You have to have your code.
Whatever it is, stick to it. Yeah, whatever you.
But to be honest, like, I don't watch a lot of college football. And I was working a job during Saturdays last year, and it was fun to be like, you know what? I can bet on Northern Illinois versus
Chattanooga State.
I would never care about any of these, but the odds are like, man, this good odds, and then I could do a little stupid little put $2, $5, whatever the cost of a cheap beer or whatever, and it's like I won. the fun of it is I would bet early games, middle games, and late games. So by the time I got off my shift at work, it was like, you've won 13 out of 15 of these parlays, and it's time for Pac-12 football to fire up. And so I'm watching,
Cal versus Utah
USC and Cal versus Northwestern or whatever, and I'm just like, I need you to hit this, let's go. And it's like, if Colorado beats whoever, Arizona State or whatever, if they beat them, then I win a 16-team parlay and it's worth like $500. And and if I don't get it, it was $5 and I got all that entertainment through the day. That's my own little sick, twisted way of looking at that.
What also makes it fun is like when you do it with a couple other people and then you guys all win together. Like that would happen a couple of UFC nights,
Yeah.
Someone would be like, yo, guys, I'm feeling really good about this. And then 3 of us would tag along, and then like a knockout would happen. We'd all look at each other, dap each other
Let's
up,
go.
like, yo, man, yeah, like, oh, we're rich. And then it just makes you want to drink more. You're like, all right, now I can afford more beer.
It's fun. It makes you watch the game more too. Their ratings are up ever since they promoted all this stuff now. Like people are tuning in, like you said, to watch Saginaw State versus Mississippi Country, because why not? The over is 45.5. Let's take it. There's no defense. It's going to be a shootout. So I hope they're back, man.
Really
I hope this comes back and it sticks around.
Yeah.
We can figure out the legalities and we can all just work together, man. Like, why not? Why not? It's legal right now. Let's get Hard Rock up and running.
We'll have a little RBLR lock of the day, maybe.
Oh yeah,
we might have to open up a little channel because I know there's a few guys across the network that we all get into some betting action. Again, nothing. Don't take my advice. We're all not professionals. You will lose all your money if you follow.
Fun to talk about, man.
But it's fun to talk about. Like, because
you're not always gonna hit. You
don't always lose either. You know what I'm saying?
Nope. And when you win, hey man, it could be that 10K.
And that'll be our motto. That'll be our motto.
Like,
yeah. We don't. Yeah, that's our motto.
You don't always win, but you don't always lose.
It's possible.
So, win or lose, no matter what, it's fun, guys. Musaab, thank you for being our guest on our very first show.
It was a pleasure.
We had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Well, I was just saying thank you so much for having me, man. This was a pleasure. I love this kind of just little side podcast, the sports lounge, just kicking it with the guys.
That's it, man. Well, we're obviously throwing some things against the wall. Some things will stick, some things won't. We'll be. It's a work in progress, but I'm just happy Chris Glaser back on the network. Look at this guy here.
Feels good to be back, bro.
We didn't get a chance to talk about that a lot, but like Chris, dude, like between the original RBLR show and then breaking out into RBLR Lightning, winning 2 Stanley Cups, like, buddy. We've been through some time on air, but then also just friends off there too. So I'm excited to be able to chat shit with you every week. Man. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, we're gonna get the hell out of here. If there's if there's anything you want to recommend, if there's something you have, drop it. We are at RBLR Sport. We are. We're going to talk about betting. We're going to bring in special guests. We're going to do it every single week here at the RBLR Sports Lounge. So for Musaab Tariq, for Chris Glaser, my name is Eureka Wheeler. We are RBLR Sports. We out of here.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.